Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. The best way is if you became a millionaire, would you keep working? You know? I want to tell you guys something. What's going on right now is California's trying to figure out about crypto. My name is Ben. We're talking balls.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community and all of the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know when it comes to crypto. CTZ says, must be Deezy if we're this late. I thought we were pretty much on time. Excuse me. Yeah, maybe one day I'll be on the intro video for like, a millisecond, I mean, we got BJ on the ATB. I can't be on the...
We're making a new one.
Oh, there's a new one. Yet another one. Maybe we'll come back with like Ben holding a bear head, like we got to get some crazy Alaska footage on there.
Yeah.
All right.
That one doesn't seem to hit.
Let's get right into the show today. Hey, new video coming out on NFT Alpha soon, dropping today. It's going to be something you're going to want to get in on. That's all I'm going to say. So make sure you're sub to the channel. Make sure you got notifications on. I think we're dropping some alpha, a really good project. You know what? Maybe I should reward the... No, I can't do it. Can't do it. You're going to have to go. You're going to have to go watch. I almost want to drop some alpha. Maybe an ABC. That's all I'm going to say. ABC. All right. That should be vague enough. All right. I did move up, and I'm now past 36,000. I will say this. I was using the aforementioned project. They have Twitter analytics. I have 56 people following me with over 100,000 followers.
Hey, nice.
It's pretty big. Pretty big. I think my largest follower, no joke, MC Hammer. Shout out to the Hammer Man. He's kind of into NFTs. I don't know why he follows me, but I'm appreciative of it. I listen to Hammer Time. I'm a little bit older. I was like 7 years old when those songs were popping, so I remember. Now, you're a little bit younger, so you missed like the crisscross phase, but you got some of the G-rated pop rap of that era. It was Will Smith. Were you a Will Smith fan as a child?
Not as a child, more as an adult, to be honest. Like when it was nostalgic and retro, like my main Will Smith memory is more Fresh Prince, after he was already doing a lot of the rap stuff. So then going back and listening and being like, I like this OG, much more innocent kind of rap than what we have today, you could say.
Yeah, I shouldn't even have brought up Will Smith. What about like a villainous arc there he's had? Some about when you knew, all right. I don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate. But I will say
Let's
this. I'm really looking forward to the next Chris Rock 1 hour special. I think it'll be pretty funny. It has to be hilarious because he has to bring it up. All right. I did move up a little bit on the Instagram. Thank you very much. 470 or 4,721. But I wonder what 4,750 would feel like. So I lied. I didn't make a story. I will do one today. We're going to a T-shirt spot. Maybe I'll you get a little Deezy on the road, Deezy on in the streets action. We go to coin market cap. We're still below $1 trillion. 982 billion, not super far off. 17.5 billion away, so not super close either. Bitcoin dominance just getting lower and lower and lower. I believe it was 38 something now, 37.6%. ETH picking up the slack above 20%. It was hanging out that 18-19 range. So we see what Bitcoin's putting down. ETH is picking up. That gas, though, the gas is 10x'd in just a matter of a couple days here. 52 Gwei. I'm wondering if there's a NFT drop happening right now because that is remarkably high. What are your thoughts on the gas? Are people banning the ship? Is this the scene in Titanic where everybody's jumping on, getting ready?
I wouldn't put too much emphasis on it. We saw a lot of volatility over the last couple of days. People probably moving in and out of positions, and people are getting out of ETH, into stable coins. It could be an NFT drop, like you mentioned, but I think it's just natural market volatility. We saw it drop extremely low when the price wasn't doing anything, so that's probably just part of it.
Yeah. All right. A lot of people talk about Luna Classic. We're going to look at the prices. Normally, I start up top. We'll start a little bit lower today. Terra Classic, Lunk, up 25%, up 100% on the 7-day. I'm not one to say don't buy it, do buy it. I am one to say I'm not a fan of the tech behind it. I don't think the tech is strong, but the fundamentals is strong. The community is strong. Pumpamentals always beats fundamentals. Speaking of fundamentals, we have Chainlink, roughly around the same market cap here, around 3 billion. I think there maybe even was a period where Terra Classic may have been above it, because I saw some people tweeting Terra Classic worth more than Near Protocol or Chainlink or Atom. What is going on with crypto? FTT being this low, this is one of my bear market accumulations. I had to get a little bit of cash on the sidelines to mint my Utes. I saw my FTX. You know what? I said no. I end up trading out some ETH. I'm holding on to my FTT. If anything, I want to get more of that. We keep moving up. Litecoin in the news. Me and Tom kind of battling on Twitter about the Litecoin. Uniswap up 3%. We keep going up. ETH Classic up 4%. Keep going mostly flat. Then we have Solana having a really good day, up number 9, 7.85% on the 24 hour. So if you're holding on to Solana, looking good. I mean, that is quite the jump there. I wonder if it's people market buying for maybe that new NFT drop. Cardano up 2%, XRP up 3%, BNB up 5.4%. Pretty good for a $45 billion market cap. And up top, we have ETH up 6.3%, Bitcoin up over 2%. So it's a day in the green. Just general good vibes today. I mean, what do you think it is? Is it some of this related to Jerome Powell? Is just oversold? What do you think we're in the green for today?
No, I think we just had a dramatic drop and bounced a little bit off the drop. Like if you're looking at Bitcoin at 19.2 or 19.3, say, that's not and it's up. That's just up from the drop it had the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at the week, and looking what's up over the week,
2.5%.
Everything, some things are up a little bit, but really it's just kind of bouncing off dips is all I feel like. Like it looks cool when you open it up and everything on the 24 hours green, but then you look at the last month, look at the last 3 months, and nothing's green.
By the way, DZ, a Reddit NFT that was free and has 700,000 mintage just sold for 450. The rare one sold for 450. The commons, they're, what are they, $3 or something? But hey, it's free, so I mean, it's all profit there. Imagine, a lot of people talk about Luna Classic. Imagine where these other prices would be if Luna wasn't stealing so much liquidity, stealing so much of the thunder right now. But speaking of the thunder,
I just want to say one thing on Luna Classic. If you guys are hearing a lot about it, if it's buzzing, if it's trending, I put it in a category of a lot. Like you said, it's got pumpamentals. People can pump it. It's a workable market cap right now. But I wouldn't listen to a lot of the noise. I feel like this is, kind of like Shiba Inu, in the bull market. It definitely pumped, definitely made a lot of people money. But the people that make the most from it are the people that are familiar with how to manipulate these types of coins, these types of market caps, these types of they've got a lot to trade back and forth. And so I just say,
big whales.
Be very, very careful messing with a project like this, because like you said, once most of the development has moved on, it's kind of like people pushing that Ethereum proof of work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It might be okay in the short term, but over time you're playing with fire.
They have misaligned incentives with you. I will say that. They're looking for a lot of these big whales. They're definitely looking for an exit plan. I don't think any big influencer, big whale of Luna Classic is diamond handing like you would see with Ethereum, that you would see with Cardano, that you would see with even Solana, and that you especially would see with Bitcoin. I don't know how many people saying, I'm giving Luna Classic to my grandchildren versus Bitcoin. I think it's going to be a big difference there. And the Reddit NFT logo is the Singularity that sold for that much. But speaking of the Singularity, I know one man is bringing us closer and closer to AI, still being defeated by the humans, and it's Gareth Soloway, one of the few people fighting the good fight, out trading the bots here, because unless you got a little expertise or you're listening to the experts, you're not beating AI, you're not beating the trading bots, you're not beating those crazy algos, you're not beating the quants. But there's a handful of experts out there, and you do your own research, of course. And I would definitely consider Gareth Soloway one of those experts. He gives great calls all the time, and I think we're gonna shoot it to him now if he is ready. Gareth, how's it going, buddy? You got the screens back.
Hey. Yes, got the screens back. Good to see you, DZ. How's it going?
It's going good, man. Going good. How are things down south for you?
Good. A little thunderstorm outside, which sets the mood for some crypto talk. I like it.
Yeah, you're getting ready for hurricane season, right?
That's right.
Are we
Right.
going to see more blank
Hunker
screens
down with
now?
some crypto.
We're going to see a bunch of blank screens in the next coming months. No, I kid. Gareth has a generator, of course. All right, Gareth, man, what do you got for us? We're seeing a little bit of a slight pump, but these alts are really taking off. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely the alts have been hot. I saw you talking about Solana. Solana's had an amazing move right now, and I still think it has some upside. If we flip over to the Solana chart, there's this kind of little high pivot from 3 days ago where we had that reversal day, and that's kind of what's stalling price right here around that 3380 level. But if it can get through that, you got an easy 1, 2, 3 punch to 35 in the near term, and then you can see all this chop here. That's going to be a hard for it to get through, but I love the price action. I love the fact that a lot of these alts, they didn't make new near-term lows when Bitcoin broke down a couple days ago. And again, that's to me significant. I don't know if it's partially the excitement around the merge with Ethereum or what's going on there, but it is something that I'm paying attention to and keeping an eye on. So
right,
so
yeah,
definitely
I see
interesting
that
stuff.
strong support there too.
Yeah, really good support down here.
All right, so what's it looking like for Bitcoin or Ethereum? I mean, mommy and daddy, they're pumping as well here.
Yeah, I'm curious to
Yeah,
hear
so
your take on how long this bear market might last.
Good
oh
question.
boy. All right. You want to hear that one, huh?
I mean, just curious.
Well, we'll be at 10K a year from now. No.
Yeah. So the number one thing on a technical basis, Bitcoin is hanging on by a thread. Now it doesn't look like it, right? So this purplish trend line is the high from 2017, right? And you can see we got below one candle, we got back above, we got below, we got back above, we got below, we got back above. Well, guess what? We got below. You haven't confirmed it yet. We haven't seen confirmation of that breakdown. So but it's still at risk because we haven't recaptured this trend line yet. So for me as a technician, that is so important. If Bitcoin can get back above here and get a daily close back above 19,500 to 600, that would be bullish. Versus the longer it stays under here, it makes me a little nervous. I'm kind of watching here closely. So it's not a bearish call here by any stretch, but it is kind of a be careful. Let's see if Bitcoin can get back above this level, this 19,500 level to 600 level. So keep it on watch. Understand that is a pivotal level. We can see over here how pivotal it was. It has to get back above. I would say by the end of tomorrow, you need to see it back above 19,500.
Now, if we don't go back above, are you just seeing like, maybe hang around the 17, 18 range, maybe the last wick down as support, or is this going to be more of a painful event of like a 3-4K drop?
Yeah, so I think right now the downside would be that June low of 17,500. So if we don't get back above in the next day or so, look for 17.5, and then that'll be the next battle that Bitcoiners and crypto traders will kind of figure out or try to attack. And I think one of the interesting things, we did see more comments from Gary Gensler today, more attacks kind of on most crypto being a security. And I think that, again, that's really important to kind of keep an eye on, because right now the Bitcoin market's kind of saying we're going to ignore that. Price is still up or flat on the day. But we want to see, does that continue as well? And does he come out with new comments and regulations? Because I'm a big believer that initially the regulation will scare the market, but I actually think it becomes the bigger buying opportunity when there's clarity as to what are the rules for which crypto. Like if you're Ethereum, what are your rules? If you're Bitcoin, what are your rules? And then investors can actually make intelligent decisions. Like I think that's important for everyone out there. The crypto market is made up of a lot of retail investors, but big money, they can't just say, oh, I'm going to take a shot with $1 billion. What the heck? You know, you're dealing with other people's money that are investing in you to make those decisions. You have to know the facts before you put their money at risk.
Yeah, and especially during these pivotal moments, we do go lower, we do spook the market. So then you have that big money saying, "Hey, we're technically oversold." It's a lot easier to sell it to the higher ups. Like, well, this is the actual realized price where it should be. Markets are tanking. They don't. They see fear in the single digits. They're probably drooling versus retail. They're cowering in a corner, selling selling at a loss just across the board. So I agree. I'm a long-term bullish for regulation too.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is that longer term, and obviously it gets scary early on, but yeah, like you said, smart money, when that comes out, they're going to quickly scan the rules. Then they're going to see, is Bitcoin flushing, is Ethereum flushing on this, and then they'll be looking, okay, and saying, okay, let's start allocating some capital into this sphere and start buying the dip, if you will.
All right, one quick question now. Luna is just trading all over the place. It's pumping. Luna Classic, LUNC. Is when you see something like this, are you just staying away because it's just so manipulated, or are you seeing, hey, maybe there's a little opportunities here? I'm seeing some channels.
Yeah, so one of my biggest rules in trading, and it keeps me safe, is to never chase, right? So when I look at a Terra Luna or a Luna chart
That's a
like this,
chase. That
and I'm
is a
like,
chase.
okay, so if I buy it now, I'm buying 1,000% or even more than that later than everyone else that got in down here. I'm just like, I missed it. I have to admit it. I think one of the biggest things as a trader is that self-reflection and honesty, and you just have to be like, listen, I didn't get in at the beginning of this move. I don't want to be one of those suckers that is caught holding the bag if it is a bag situation that collapses. And so you just stay away, at least for me, because it's, again, think about how much it's gone up. I mean, if I get in here and it just goes down 50%, which is would be very normal for a chart like this, then I'm down 50%. It's like, I can't take those risks.
Yeah. Where normal drawdown, you might see 5%, 10%. You can kind of walk away, lick your wounds, but yeah, you could go to sleep, wake up, 70% of your investment there is going to be gone. Very volatile.
And I think one of the keys to understand as a pro trader is that it's not so much the money that you miss out on. Like, it may go up double from here, and I may say, oh, darn, I should have bought it. But a pro trader thinks the opposite way. A pro trader says, how do I protect my capital, versus a retail trader generally has the mindset of, how am I going to double my capital overnight or in a very short term? And by changing that mindset, you become much more careful, and you actually grow your wealth more structurally over the longer term. And longer term, it's proven that that's actually how you grow real wealth.
A couple of viewers wondering, what are your thoughts on the next Fed meeting? The markets are kind of pricing in, I think 75 at this point. I mean, do you go with what Wall Street Bets, goes with? Because it seems pretty accurate. If they say 80% think it's going to be this, it's 9 times out of 10, it is that. So what do you think about that?
Jerome Powell spoke this morning, very hawkish still. I still think he's a lot of talk, and I'm not so convinced that it's all the reality of the situation. And I think the bond market is slightly agreeing. So I'm in the camp of 50 basis points. There's a chance, if the CPI number, so next Tuesday, everyone should watch that CPI number.
Maybe froze there. Maybe maybe a hurricane just popped up out of nowhere. Could have been a tornado.
He just got struck by lightning.
I think it was. You know what? Maybe the singularity got him.
Wow. He was about to give us the Fed's next move, and then Powell's like, no.
What is up with that? Every time something like this happens, I know we talk about the Fed, probably 15% of the time, maybe even like lower 8% of the time, but every time something like this happens, we just got done talking about Jerome Powell, yelling. It's almost every single time here. I don't understand it, but I think we added his link. Make sure you check out his channel. He's probably watching out like, what the heck happened? I don't know. Gareth, one of my favorite traders, one of my top two. It's him and Crypto Face, and of course Frankie. I see him more as a brother. Okay, so I don't consider Frankie a trader. Although I'm the trader because I moved out of the house. I moved out of the hit house.
Yeah, Frankie's family. But yeah, Gareth, great friend of the channel. Love his analysis. We dropped the link in the chat. It's also in the description if you guys want to go check out what he's got. I know a lot of people like his stuff, and he's got a really good take on the market. And he's another one that we like because he's going to give you a real answer. He's not just going to tell you what you want to hear. He's going to give you his realistic thoughts on the market, and it's not always it's great when it's all bullish and fun and up and green candles, but markets go both ways. And
so Gareth got stopped out. Yeah, he did the market makers. The market makers knew exactly what level to hit there. A lot of people still talking about that Luna Classic, saying, hey, they laughed at the Doge millionaires as well. Well, Doge, if you look at the market cap when it was below a penny, it was able to do a literal 100x because, it was about 0.7 penny, and then it went up to 70 cents. That's 100x. Do the math, Luna Class. That's just not going to happen.
And really, he gave really good advice there. When you're trading, if you're investing, it's one thing. This is not something as a long-term investment you would get into. If you're day trading, there's some opportunity, but you got to manage your risk.
Manage the risk.
In his scenario that he laid out there, if something's up 1,000% and it draws back down, say you're down 50% on your bags, it's one thing to be down 50% because you bought Ethereum close to the top, you bought Cardano close to the top, and you're down a little bit on some of those, but they're very strong, technically developing projects and moving forward. They've seen success over multiple cycles. If you're down 70% on Shiba Inu, holding it longer really isn't most likely going to help you. You know, it's probably not going to recover the way you're hoping it will in the next bull market. And it's definitely not going to a penny or a dollar or all that hype that you got sold when you bought it. So there's a big difference between being down on a top 10 project and down on something like Luna Classic. So again, just be very careful.
Yeah. No, someone else talking about Doge was way under a penny, 0.0000. Yeah, then look at that market cap. It was almost nothing there. Doge could hit $1 though. I don't want to say it will never hit $1. It could very well hit $1. Next bull run, right tweet by Elon. Hey, SpaceX, market bought $10 billion. It's our Mars currency. It could definitely hit $1. So
it could. And what I'll say to that is that's definitely true. It could hit $1. Every day that goes by, it gets harder because it's inflating. So just keep that in mind. Every day that goes by, it gets harder for Dogecoin to hit $1. So your time's working against you, kind of like fiat currency, where with Bitcoin, every day that goes by, price going up gets easier. So
and
I
would love for someone in the chat to do this math. Doge hit 70% of $1. Do the math of what Shiba was to a penny. It was less than 1%, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think you need you needed 1.3 Doge to equal $1, but you'll need like 4,000 Shiba to equal a penny.
Well, and I'd be curious to know what the market cap of Doge was when it hit 70 cents back then compared to what the market cap of Doge needs to be 2 years from now to just get back to 70 cents. And
because it was at 50 million, 500 million every single day added.
Like
There's a lot of Doge being added. Doge is very inflationary. That's part of the reason why some people say it is a good currency because it is inflationary. That's why some people say it's a bad investment because it is inflationary. Do your own research. We always stress that. Know your risk tolerance. Look, there's always, know how long you want to hold a coin. We're not saying this is the gospel. You must trade this way. This is the only way that works. There's multiple strategies, many strategies that all can be successful, that are all wildly different from each other. But don't change your strategy mid-game. If you're a football team and the running game is, just doing great, don't all of a sudden, just start passing the ball if you're winning the game. Likewise, vice versa there.
Yeah, that Falcons. If you're up 28-3, don't change your game plan. Just
Too soon. Too soon.
It's and you just
took, long enough.
The too soon was you took your earbud off right before we're going into TikTok.
Oh, that was too soon.
I was trying to tell you,
rug pull.
Keep it in there. And it looks like Gareth is back in here. Gareth, we wrapped it up. We love you, buddy. We appreciate all the analysis. We'll check you again soon on ATB or back here.
Fun fact: I went to go hit the points when he busted out the chart. I went, wrong show. All
right. Let's do some TikToks.
Let's see here. Love this format. Love this section.
If you invest long enough, you're eventually going to look back and have a regret somewhere. My biggest investment regret, believe it or not, is not in real estate. It's actually in Bitcoin. In 2015, my brother-in-law was in college. College kids always hear about the cool stuff before everybody else. And so he told me about this thing called Bitcoin. He said, bro, you got to buy it. So I bought $5,000 worth of Bitcoin when it was $700 a share. I sat on it for a week, said, this is dumb, and sold it. If I would have held on to it all the way to Bitcoin's peak, I could have sold it for close to $400,000. If you invest long enough, you're eventually...
Yeah, that math checks out. Yeah, he missed out on almost 100x there.
Yep.
Look, you never go broke taking profits, but if you believe in the value proposition of something, it doesn't hurt to, I don't want to say have a religious fervor for a coin, but if you're a true believer, there's nothing wrong with hodling. But make sure you know the tech. Don't just... I'm a true believer because it pumped. I'm a true believer because I looked into the coin. I know the tokenomics. I read the white paper. Don't just be a true believer because you're up 17% in a day or 100% in a week.
Absolutely. And you learn a lot from your investing mistakes as well.
The best lessons leave bruises.
Yeah.
Is what I was told before I was paddled.
Oof. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know about that. It's a tough parenting strategy.
Hey, I'm here now.
I noticed that Polygon has been making moves, a lot of moves. In fact, this week, while most are in red, you could see Bitcoin's down 7%, Ethereum's down 6%, XRP is down 5%, Solana down 10%. Look at it. Polygon's up 7% for this week. So they're definitely making moves because a lot of projects, a lot of brands are moving to Polygon. It's up 7%.
You know, someone said you got to check out George's TikTok. The editing is on point.
Mm-hmm.
The editing is on point. Really good content there. We love George. We're all George. Cryptos are us. Great channel. George, come back on ATB. We'd love to have you on anytime.
Well, and something to take away there from what he's talking about, when in times like this in the market, when things are moving counter to the market, that's a good way to find an indicator on a strong project. I'm not saying go all in when you see Matic is up right now, but you're seeing, okay, this project's moving counter to the market. I'm going to watch it very closely as time goes on and maybe start building a position here. That's what I started doing with things. That's where we nailed it with BNB in the last bear market. It was moving counter to what was going on. So Matic and other layer 2 solutions on Ethereum are definitely things we're looking at.
And that can be a double-edged sword.
It
You know, if you see something swimming against the current, see why. There's going to be some massive move in the background. You know, if it's pumping when everything's dumping. There are some coins, and you know, I'm trying to blanking on an example right now. Actually, I think Terra was for a while, that move counter to the market. Bitcoin goes down, it'll go up. Bitcoin goes up, it'll go down. And there's profitable trades to be made with those coins as well. Just a little trading.
This is really interesting news. This U.S. congressman says that crypto won't be banned anytime soon. I'm here to tell you that crypto won't be banned ever. And the reason being is if you ban crypto, you push innovation offshore. And that's the last thing the United States needs to do right now with the situation we are in financially. And the thing is, there's a lot of U.S. congressmen that are also participating in the crypto market. They just don't tell you about it. Continue to stick with the digital dude and give me a follow, and I'll lead you through this crypto journey. I'll see you on the next video.
Yeah, so they have to disclose their investments, but how many Congress people do you think their kid has their Bitcoin? I bet a lot. I'm not saying, 40% or anything, but I'm sure there's a handful who, hey, son, here's this little briefcase of cash. Where that briefcase came from? Who knows? It doesn't matter. Don't mind the bankers in the background here. Yeah, go ahead, Mark, and buy some Bitcoin there. I'm sure that's the case. I know there's hidden stocks. The Panama Papers proved that people have offshore bank accounts. A lot of our Congress people have secret bank accounts. So why not secret crypto wallets? It just makes sense to me.
Yeah. But he made us a good point there regarding pushing innovation offshores. Obviously, what we're seeing globally right now, you could say, is a trade war, is a Cold War, is a currency war, a variety of different things, and everybody's battling to have the next high growth innovation tech coming out of their area. Yep. So that's why the United States is in a tough position, because we have the reserve currency, which is our number one asset as a nation. We must defend that reserve currency status. However, the most growth and innovation is coming out of a sector, blockchain, that threatens reserve currency status. So how do they increase innovation and control that while also maintaining reserve currency status? That's the position the United States is in right now.
Yeah, we don't want to lose that tech battle either. Someone said Hunter has Bitcoin. They do have the narrative that it's used for illicit purposes.
Hey.
That'd be on brand. I don't know. If that narrative is true, it makes perfect sense. All right. He was on Silk Road. Okay, we're kidding. All right, let's talk a little Bitcoin. Bitcoin whales send Bitcoin to futures exchanges in classic bottom signal. Avoiding fallout from positions, putting in a local bottom has been standard practice for prior Bitcoin price bottoms. One analyst shows. Love the drawings here. Cowabunga, dude. According to on-chain analytics platform CryptoQuant, large volume investors are moving coins to derivative exchanges en masse this month. A typical thing for local bottoms is a spike on exchanges to derivative exchanges flow mean. And guess what? That's happening right now. Major cashing out continues. Separate observations from WhaleMap focus on a potential sale of 5,000 Bitcoin, which had been dormant since Christmas of 2013. Woo, wow. Man, talk about diamond hands there. WhaleMap additionally reiterated key on-chain support levels in place based on large volume accumulation in the past. These take the form of 19,000, 16,000, and 13,000. I would add that local bottom in June that Gareth just shared, 17,500. So look for key support there as well. The whales are making some moves. Here's a good question, TJ.
Yep.
So we got a lot. They're dropping it on exchanges. Let's just say KuCoin. And by the way, if if you don't like these whales dropping all this Bitcoin, I want you to drop that finger onto the like button.
Oh,
Hit it right now, or move the mouse and click. But I need you to hit that like button right now. So we have all these Bitcoin being added to exchanges. You know, KuCoin for the example. For every 100 Bitcoin dropped in there, how much is moved in to open leveraged longs?
I mean, we could pull some of those numbers and maybe pull it up. I don't think it's very much right now.
I don't think it's much either.
Open leverage longs. I mean, somebody showed me a metric right before the stream started that showed we had almost an unprecedented number of puts being put in by institutional investors, billions and billions of dollars, basically betting on the stock market going down further. So, you know, I tend to believe you're going to see similar from these Bitcoin whales. If a lot of Bitcoin is going on to exchanges right now, it's probably to sell because they think it's going lower. No guarantees. That's just what we've seen in the past. You know, and until we get out of these woods, until we get past the midterms, until we get past the rest of these rate hikes till the end of the year, like 2 more rate hikes, and there's no way Bitcoin gets above this level we're at right now, in my opinion. Now, some people feel like we're getting close to the bottom. And I also feel like we're getting close to the bottom, but how long we stay here, I'll be real curious. I think we do have a really hard time getting above that 19.5 level, and it could be a long time that we stay down here.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. I mean, you know, it is going to be boring, but, you know, there will be flash crashes. I do think there will be another washout or two on the horizon, you know, next 12 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 6 days, 6 weeks. And so just be careful and don't be afraid to take a little bit of profit now, even though, you know, you do think Bitcoin and all other alts are going to be much, much higher. If you have some profits, it's okay to put a little on the sidelines. And if there's another crash, I know, raise your hand or smash the like button if you wish you would have bought more ETH at 850. I know I do. And so if it does go down there, if I end up selling my Utes, that's probably where my profit will go. I'll probably end up trying to buy some cheap ETH. Maybe, you know, maybe a little cheap Bitcoin as well, you know, 5% of a Bitcoin or something. But that's assuming, of course, I sell my Utes or, you know, burn it for a tube. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Utes yet. I know I should probably take profit. I'm up a decent amount of Solana, and Solana's up. I'm almost talking myself into it. All right, I'm pulling open my Phantom app. I'm going to do it right now. Okay. All right, let's keep talking about Bitcoin here. Bitcoin price drops 6% while bond yields spike. The world's top crypto has hit 18,000 and is still dropping. Has dipped 6% within the last 24. Now it's up slightly, but it is down for the week here. As the Fed continues to increase interest rates in hope of building the dollar's strength, tech equities are equally affected. Both the NASDAQ 100 and S&P 500 are dropping in the general bear market. All stock options in Bitcoin are becoming off limits as investors prepare to weather the interest rate spike by opting out of riskier investments. They're going from risk on to risk off. Bitcoin's bearish trend is likely to continue. There is a question if we can recover to 20K. At this rate, it would have to break above 19.5. All right, so for us to reach 20, we got to go above 19.5, people. I know, shocking. Hit that like button if that was some alpha that you just now learned here. All right, let's talk Euro Central Bank. I said 75 earlier to Gareth, and then when he said 50, I was like, where the heck did I get 75? I know I heard 75. It was from the European thing this morning.
They did 75 in Europe and in Canada, and I tend...
Canada yesterday, right?
Yep. They could do 0.5 here, but 0.75 isn't off the table. You know, it might be a 0.5 and then another 0.75 towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I knew. I thought it was 0.75. I was like, I don't think Gareth's wrong here. I'm pretty sure Gareth has the right number there. Okay, this is what it was. ECB raises rates by 75 basis points to tackle soaring inflation. The Falcons could use more tackles. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just kidding. The ECB on Thursday announced a 75 basis point taking its benchmark deposit rate to 0.75%. ECB moves follows a hike from -5% to 0 at its July meeting. The central bank, which sets its policy for the 19 euro using nations, has kept rates in the negative territory since 2014 in a bid to spur spending and combat low inflation. GDP across the zone increased by 0.8% in the second quarter. However, many are saying the Eurozone recession is all but inevitable in the coming months as consumer spending power is squeezed and businesses struggle to pass on higher input costs, aka rising energy. The more interesting questions now, he said, is what its terminal rate, the highest point, will be during this hiking cycle. Now, Volkner in the 80s, his thesis is you must get interest rates above inflation to curb inflation. If that's the case, Europe's in a lot of pain. It's going to be not a V-shaped recovery. It's not going to be very soon. It's not going to be a soft landing. It's going to be a crash followed by wreckage, followed by debris sorted through, followed by, 2 years later, maybe we start taking off. So just be careful. I know I'm beating this dead horse, but the Europe situation is volatile. There's a lot of tangibles out there that are just unknown, and it could turn ugly. And you're seeing whales dump Bitcoin. I'm not trying to be bearish here. I'm not up here saying Bitcoin's going to 3K. I'm just saying smart money is pulling a little money off the table right now. Are they going to dump it in, after just like a quick little crash? Maybe. Is some smart money spending money? There is. But some, a lot of whales, they're hedging their bets right now. And like TJ said, there's a lot of options being put out there by billionaires right now. So when you go and I'm just going to bet against the billionaires, not the best strategy. I'm not saying blindly follow them. We're just trying to urge a little caution here, okay? We don't want the BitSquad to get wrecked. We just want everybody to hold on to their gains. That's all. All right. Putin threatens to let Europe freeze. Russian president warns we will not supply gas, oil, coal, or heating oil. This was following the discussion at the G7 and pledging after the G7 pledged to impose price caps on crude oil. Putin explained that the Kremlin's plan to let the wolf's tail freeze, referring to Europe and the Russian fable where a fox tricks a wolf into freezing its tail, and the fox eventually defeats this wolf with this tactic. We're gonna have ask Nina for that homespun tale here. She's probably gonna be like, she's either gonna know exactly and then be surprised that we don't know, or it's just gonna be crickets, and she's like, "Hey, you're just making this up."
Yeah,
it's gonna be no in between there. She's either gonna chastise us for being dumb or call us dumb.
Yep.
Putin says, "No, we love Nina. Nina's great." Putin says Western sanctions are stupid. Claims Russian has not lost anything. Putin remarked on Wednesday that Western sanctions are dumb, and he further opined, "I'm sure we have not lost anything and will not lose anything. The main thing is strengthening our sovereignty, and this is the inevitable result of what is happening now." At the Eastern Economic Forum's plenary session, the Russian president said if G7 plans to implement price caps, Russia will not acknowledge any current contracts and walk away from future gas supply deals.
Yeah, I think that sentence there, he's trying to ensure their sovereignty, says a lot. He's learned that if you rely on the US dollar, any nation that relies on US dollar is no longer a sovereign nation. You are under the control of Western money, the United States. So that's what he's trying to break out of right now. The big story came out yesterday that he said Russia is going to be settling gas deals with China with yuan and Russian rubles, not the US dollar, not the petrodollar. So that's going to have a big effect, on the petrodollar if the BRICS banks say they're going to do the same thing.
That's sell pressure for the US dollar.
It's insane sell pressure for the US dollar and really lack of buying pressure or liquidity drying up for it. So that's obviously the battle we've been going through right now, currency war with them for a while, trade war. It's going to be everybody's kind of playing poker, so to speak, saying, "Oh, we're going to do this, and seeing if who cracks first, who folds."
And the DXY, it's a basket of currencies. It's not on there. Those two currencies, the ruble's not on there, digital wands or the wand's not on there. And so you see the DXY and you're saying, wow, the dollar's strength is just at all-time or 20-year high, 40-year highs I haven't seen since the 80s. Wow, look how strong our dollar is. Well, we're comparing it to the euro. We're comparing it to the weaker currencies at the moment. We're not comparing it to the currencies. I'm not saying these are the world's strongest currencies, but the rubles outperformed the dollar. The wands outperformed the dollar. And if we had a fair assessment of the dollar strength against the entire globe, it would not be as a rosy picture. But compared to Europe, it's quite rosy. Compared to Canada, it's quite rosy. But that's not the full story. The DXY stats aren't the full story. It's selective data, same as the CPI, same as inflation.
Unemployment.
It's not a lie, but it's
almost every metric they use is created to make it look better than it is.
Yeah, anyone who's done data analytics, it's not, okay, I'm giving data, then I give my report. It's, hey, boss, what kind of report do you want? Okay, that's the report you're given. So that's data can be co-opted and kind of tweaked for basically any narrative. Of course, obvious exceptions apply here. All right, U.S. Fed Vice Chair Michael Barr favors hard line on crypto. OCC acting head, he's no friendlier. Barr, a former Ripple Labs advisor, has taken a rather less favorable view of crypto than he apparently had in the private sector as he gives his first speech as a Fed official. This is the key phrase here, first speech. He's going to have to come off as a hard butt here. The two U.S. government finance officials gave speeches on Wednesday in which they expressed their positions on crypto regulation. Both had their own reservations here. This is Barr's words here. I believe Congress should work expeditiously to pass much-needed legislation to bring stablecoins, particularly those designed to serve as a means of payment, inside the prudential regulatory perimeter. Things that only lawyers say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not in the prudential regulatory perimeter.
Of course.
Imagine him like playing at the softball game,
Right.
arguing with the umpire there.
Oh.
All right. Hey, people are wondering at home how the BitBoy Bombers did.
They did good.
Won.
Yeah.
They won. I think they scored 4 and then allowed like 12 runs in a row.
Yeah.
And then ended up winning like 21-17 or 19-16 or something
Another
like that.
comeback for the ages. So 2 consecutive wins and come from behind victories.
Yeah. So the BitBoy Bombers are 2-1 for the baseball fans out there. All right. Barr. You should bar me from talking about that. All right. Barr went on to address crypto assets in general and said he intended to protect both the banking system and bank customers, noting, as we have seen with the growth of crypto assets in a rapidly rising and volatile market, participants may come to believe that they understand new products only to learn that they don't. I feel that's everybody's first couple of months, weeks, years, whatever in crypto. You think you know, you don't know.
You
don't know. You're not born as Vitalik, okay?
No.
You're not coding video games in 5th grade like Vitalik is. So hey, if that's you, you know what? You're probably a Cardano dev. All right. Shu mentioned stablecoins and the collapse of Terra as an example of crypto's disruptive potential. He noted that the relationship between banks and fintech companies is evolving rapidly and causes de-integration in the sector. Stablecoins is going to be one of the main stories when it comes to regulation. We've talked about this before, and the number one reason is it's just easy for them to understand. They're not going to sound like a bozo talking about it. You don't want to. You ever see those legislative meetings, where the congressman has to get in front? He's on C-SPAN. It's going to. You don't want to get clipped. You especially don't want to get clipped on crypto Twitter. So you want to make sure you kind of know what you're talking about. That's why you're not going to see them like debating the merits of the Lightning Network, of decentralization versus centralization, and trying to is transactions per second. How important is this versus scalability versus security? You're not going to hear them say anything about any of that. But $1, this equals $1. Okay, I can wrap my head around that. You start going into halving cycles and 21 million and secret phrases and this mysterious Nakamoto, it's you're going to be a little more hesitant of saying, I'm an expert at this and I'm going to regulate it.
Yeah, I was going to say speeches in Congress, kind of similar to your data report example, where it's going to be a mixture of what they know and what appeals to their constituents. Just like with a data report, like you're going to take some factual data information, but you're going to present it in a way that the person you're presenting to wants to see it. It's very similar with a lot of those speeches. Like if anybody is contrarian, there's a reason that they're trying to appeal to that contrarian audience. So, but it is coming up more and more and more. It brings me back in 2018 and 2019, I got in a heated debate with somebody saying that in the future, digital assets, crypto, that sort of things will become a political issue. It will be debated. And they're like, no, it won't. What are you talking about? And it takes time, but here it is. And I think regulation, kind of to Gareth's point, to what a lot of people are pressing for, will set the stage for the next bull run and actually allow it to be, in my opinion, what could be one of the best bull runs we've seen. We might break the cycle of diminished returns next time if we get regulatory clarity. And
yes. I think that's a definite
really
possibility
other
there.
people's money in. So it'll be interesting. We need this, but it's going to be quite the process.
It won't be that hard because, it was about a 3.4x from, the previous top to the next top. But, just to do the math, to run it out, that's close to $250,000.
Yeah.
And so that is quite the pump for Bitcoin. But
They say, I
institutional
think,
money comes in is possible.
yeah, with
It is
Aladdin or BlackRock's, AI software having spot options on Bitcoin, even a 2% move would just blow that away. 2% of what BlackRock's clients' funds are, which is considered normal in an emerging market, would send us well over 200K Bitcoin.
Vitalik coded himself into existence,
I saw that.
Stormbreaker said. Possibly. White Paladin, they're doing open source mods at like 8 or 9, a little script
Hey,
kitty, still
hey,
good.
All right.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. Vitalik was writing those mods at age 7. No, okay. All right. Fed needs to answer key questions around digital dollar. This is from Brainard. He's the Fed Reserve Vice Chair. He says the central bank must weigh questions around transfer limits and interest-bearing accounts as part of the debate over whether a digital dollar is necessary. Private banks should continue to play a role in the economy rather than the Fed directly banking customers using the digital dollar. The central bank won't seek to crowd out private business activity in payments or otherwise, she said. Brainerd did raise concerns about stablecoins, calling them an area with the most potential risk of not properly regulated.
But
I didn't even pre-read that. But
No,
yeah.
I mean, you can read between those lines and hear the fear in her voice. They're going to mess up our business, so we really need to make sure we get control of this stuff. It's not a fear for the consumer's sake. It's not a fear of what's going to happen to the market itself as it affects us. It's a fear of how it's going to affect them and their ability to make money on transactions. And you can see it. It's so obvious to see when you read between the lines of their statements.
Yeah, because I mean, you just think about just the value capture of just being a part of every single transaction. You can have the I don't know how you want to call it, however they try to monetize it. It could be like 0.37 zeros followed by a 1, and they'll probably just be printing money left and right here. All right. What crypto winter? Brr. They say it's a winter in Georgia. DZ and we got Frankie Candles wearing hoodies. What's up with that? It's this crypto winter.
Yeah.
All right. Global stablecoin monthly on-chain volume hits an all-time record. Love to see this. Is actually pretty bullish. Stablecoins have been cast in the spotlight over their different uses and role in the ongoing crypto market crash. The development of stablecoins within the crypto community is being emphasized by volume that is hitting new milestones. This little area right here, this was the May. This is the May crash. Everybody's stabling up like, oh my God, it is over. It is over. Then you see the little pump, October, November. Hey, oh my God, it's back on. And then December, oh my God, it's over. Let's do it again. Hopefully that's not what we're seeing here. Oh my God, it's over again. But what did happen after that? It went down and then it went up. What happened after that? It went down and then it went up. So mainly it's going to go down in the short term, but I think we all agree in the long term, up and to the right. Enthusiasm for stablecoins is highlighted by WeTrust platform maintainer Patrick Long, who stresses that they stand out due to their year-long use. We love our stablecoins here. Initially, the use of stablecoins within the crypto sector was tied to acting as a safe haven in cases of increased volatility. However, the use case have since multiplied, especially with the growing popularity of DeFi applications. It is worth mentioning that some of the early stablecoin regulation initiatives have seen U.S. states like New York release specific regulations targeting the sector. I think that is going to be a main source of regulation. It's going to be New York and California. And then if it's just not totally asinine, maybe it will, trickle down. We see it in other sectors. I think we see it in tech. We see it in, emissions. Hopefully we don't see it with the banning of gas cars nationwide. But I do think New York, California, we focus on those legislators, to a lesser extent, Texas. Maybe we can start a ground grassroots campaign. Not trying to bring this up, kind of promoting anything, but we saw it with the legalization of marijuana, where it started with one state, and then next thing you know, it's kind of domino effect.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get something similar, but New York, chill with the regulations. You're a little onerous, okay? All right? You're making it a little difficult for your citizens. If you're in New York, or if you've ever been there, hit that like button, by the way. Let the YouTube algorithm know how mad you are that they keep trying to shut you out of the crypto ecosystem here. It's not fair.
I just said that's right. I agree with that.
Yeah. It makes no sense. And New York, we talked about it. We speculated. There's a lot of banks. There's a lot of banking money in New York. Is that related? Dollars a Donut says yes.
Yeah.
All right. Tether's lead over USDC hits 16 billion as Binance moves to limit stablecoin competitors. The market cap gap between Tether and USDC has narrowed to 10 billion earlier this year. For a while there, it looked like the Circle stablecoin was within range to overtake Tether, its biggest competitor. We were watching that chart as well. We were expecting it to happen. But then in the past month, Tether has taken steps to further reduce commercial paper in its treasury, the assets that back USDT, and allow users to redeem it for cash. Tether also appears to be taking a hands-off approach to the U.S. Office of Financial Assets Control sanctions, or OFAC, against Ethereum mixer Tornado Cash. The company hasn't said explicitly that it's skirting sanctions, just that U.S. law enforcement hasn't yet asked it to enforce those sanctions. Let's see, Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire, he doesn't see it that way, of course. We talked about this on yesterday's ATB. Is he just blowing smoke at us, you know what, or is this an accurate spin? Well, you have to watch the episode. I'm not gonna share what we said. You have to watch. All right. Circle is also facing an uncertain future for its long-awaited merger with blank check company Concord Acquisition Corp. The deal, originally announced last July, valued Circle at $4.5 billion. When the company announced in February that it's terminated its agreement with the SPAC, it entered a new one that doubled the valuation at $9 billion. SPACs it's essentially blank check that'll lead to a publicly traded company. Meanwhile, USDC started this year at $42 billion, peaked at $53 billion, and then saw its market cap start to recede. Then Terra's network stablecoin lost its dollar peg and saw its price plummet to 35 cents on May 9th. Over the next couple weeks, its crash wiped out $40 billion from the crypto market. So no small amount there. But hey, people still love Lunk. What can you say? Kind of like Beanie Babies. Were they talking about? I don't know what they were talking about there. This next story, though, makes me like Ben's uncle a little bit more.
Yeah.
Coinbase bankrolls lawsuit against Treasury Department following Tornado Cash sanctions there. Love to see it. Coinbase is footing the bill for a lawsuit filed against Treasury Department Thursday by users of the recently sanctioned crypto service Tornado Cash. We saw this as a much larger problem. Coinbase's legal officer, Paul Gruhl, told CNBC, it sets a dangerous precedent. If this code can be designated without any limits imposed by law, any tech or tool or system could be fair game. We have advocated for regulatory reform across Washington, and that work will continue. We can continue to cooperate and partner with the agencies that are being challenged in this instance, because this is not about questioning anyone's good faith. It's about assuring the role of law applies. So it is a little odd. You have Circle on one hand, they're trying to play both sides. And I think you just see that a lot when an entity gets so big. It can't help but be, your CEO is invited to the White House, like every administration. There's certain industries that are just so big. You're going to have this little bit of a song and dance that you got to do with the government. You kind of have to dance with them a little bit, but, they kind of have to dance with you back because, you bring in all this tax money, but then at the same time, you got, regulatory officers, you have, people trying to make sure, are you a monopoly? Are you not a monopoly? You got Justice Department coming after you, so you got people in the background, they're your enemy, but the government official will be in your face, smiling, shaking your hand. So Coinbase, they're listening to the sanctions. They're blocking these Tornado Cash wallets, but then in the background, they're funding the fight against it. Yeah, and so we just got to, be intellectually honest with our opinion of them.
No, yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, this stance by Coinbase, and kind of like we've been obviously talking a lot this show about regulations and regulatory clarity, and this is part of how we get there. Up until this point, pushing back against the United States government and some of these agencies for many in the crypto industry is tough, because you're picking on a big, bully there when you're talking about SEC, when you're talking about OCC and all those sorts of things. So that kind of stuff is extremely important when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. Oh, hey, we got the puppy.
Hey, hit that like button if you like the dog.
They've been asking about her for a while, but where I'm going with what Coinbase is saying is the fact that they're not actually bringing this lawsuit themselves, but they're funding it, and they're pushing the conversation forward for the crypto industry. And that's what it's going to take for us to get this regulatory clarity. It's been very easy for them to kind of stay away from saying anything, both, the Fed and the SEC, all of these different agencies have been kind of clamoring, we should regulate this, we should regulate that, but they're not doing it. Coinbase is saying, look, you got to come out and set some rules, because regulation by enforcement, we're not going to stand for that anymore. And we've got some means to, to take it to courts, and we're going to do it. So I think it'll be, how this case unravels will be very interesting to see, kind of like the Ripple SEC case, and it will start to set the tone a lot for how we move forward in the future.
Yeah, and the sooner it happens, the better. All right, and how do they make that money to fund all these things? Well, they make a little bit of money off each trade. Speaking of trading on Coinbase, they just added 5 altcoins and makes USDT available in 31 countries. So we have Convex Finance, Ocean Protocol, Pundi X, Injective, Audius, hey, shout out to Audius team, and NFT project Xmon to its roadmap there. So if you got any of those coins, let us know in the chat. And if you got some gains off it, hey, congrats. Good job. All right, let's talk a little GameStop here. No, not about how they only gave me $3.40 for Halo 2. GameStop doubles down on crypto amid a new partnership with FTX US. After launching an NFT marketplace and wallet with the help of Immutable X, GameStop's continuing its push into crypto with a partnership with FTX. In a Wednesday statement, the retailer noted that the new partnership will introduce GameStop's customers into the FTX ecosystem, including its marketplace for digital assets, while also seeing the retailer become FTX's preferred retail partner in the United States. Solana phone at GameStop's, maybe? I mean, that's kind of what I see when I hear that.
Could be.
Could be. Hey, I'm not. Well, I mean, we'll have to buy, we'll have to get one for Hit Network.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll jump on the grenade there. All right. GameStop has significantly ramped up its Web3 efforts this year after unveiling an NFT and Web3 gaming division in January, as well as the launch of its NFT marketplace on July 11th in partnership with Immutable X. So I'm very bullish on Immutable X too. That was another coin. I looked at that one because I got a little bag of FTX and Immutable X on my MetaMask, and I was like, I can't sell those 2 coins.
How about this? Rather than just a Solana phone, what about a Solana store? What if GameStop locations start becoming Solana stores, and you go just kind of like an Apple store? Like, they've got a beta one somewhere. I think it's in New York, where they'd sell Solana phones, Solana merch, Solana hardware.
Hardware. Okay. Wallets.
Yeah. Like, what if you think about what an Apple store is? It starts in, it's
I've never stepped foot in one.
Okay. Well, I've only been in a couple, and it's basically, they're hardware stores. You got phones, you got iPads, you got iPods, and accessories.
The geniuses, as far as the eye can see, right?
That's what they tell you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That'd be a big step, obviously, moving towards retail for Solana, but it wouldn't surprise me with the moves that they're making. But it is, I don't know. GameStop in this space intrigues me. I'll say that much.
Yeah, and I think they're small enough to move quickly, and I think we're seeing it with all these partnerships and just pivoting the whole company. So they're small. They realize, like, hey, if we continue down this path, it's a dead end.
Yeah.
So we better turn left or right, and we better turn hard. And they're doing that. It's moving a little speedboat, not an ocean liner here. Miston Labs, creator of the Sui blockchain, closes $300 million raise. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Led by FTX Ventures. There is still money in the space. $300 million fundraise at a valuation that tops $2 billion. And this is a yet to launch proof of stake layer 1 blockchain that was built to mount a challenge to the likes of Ethereum. Keep an eye on this one. Why VC money?
Yeah.
Why the VC money in particular is FTX Ventures. This is the arm of Sam Bankman-Fried. Other investors, A16Z, as well as Jump Crypto, Apollo Binance Labs, Franklin Templeton, Coinbase Ventures, Circle Ventures. Let's see, you just kind of skip through. O'Leary Ventures. Okay, yeah, this is going to be one that you're going to want to keep an eye on. He likened the way blockchains process transactions to boarding a train. In the current model, you wait for everyone to get on before you get moved. On Sui, there's a greater number of cars available to transport groups bound in the same destination. Technical term for this is inter-validator sharding. In blockchain systems, validators are the parties that verify transactions. In proof of stake, they lock up tokens on the network in exchange for the chance to validate the new transactions and earn those rewards. Meanwhile, there's close to $5 billion interacting with Ethereum using layer 2, such as optimistic and ZK rollups, according to block research data. But he is on phase to the L2, beating the L1. So hey, keep an eye out on that one.
Well,
that's smart money.
Yeah, that's why I pulled that story this morning, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I know we get a lot of questions from people about, opportunities in the bear market. How do
Yep.
I find a new emerging coin? Should I is it going to be the performers from last market, or is it going to be something new? And when I see stories like this, soy blockchain or sui blockchain, or however you say it, is something that's kind of been on our radar for a while. You'll hear whispers about it when you hear, we always talk about swimming with the whales on this channel. And I'm not saying like, go out and buy this coin as soon
YOLO
as it
day
comes out,
one.
because most
Although I'm
likely
probably going to.
most coins on launch, they dump on that VC money before it starts coming back up. So this one could operate very much like that one. It could be different. My point is, when you see big money getting into new projects, this is a new layer one. We talked about like what could have a Solana type run this cycle compared to last cycle. This could potentially be one of those projects. It's a new layer one. It's proof of stake. It's high throughput. It's made for gaming and staking. And it's got really, really big smart money behind it that probably won't let it fail. So again, not saying run out and buy it.
It's a novel concept. I've never really heard about, we have two different types of transactions. I'll just throw out an example, sending funds and, validating something on a DeFi protocol. So yeah, you have everybody who's validating DeFi protocols batch with the same, and then everybody who's sending funds batch with the same. And yeah, it's a novel concept. I've never actually heard of any blockchain doing that. I'm not the tech guy that says, oh, here's the advantages of that and here's the disadvantages of that. But just from thinking about it, just logically, it makes sense. So I'm bullish on it. And yeah, when I hear this story and I see who's investing in it, if you get in at the low, that's the 50x, that's the 20x potentially.
This is one to watch, I would say. And we don't own anything. This is not.
Yeah, we can own it. We weren't on the. I'm not on the investment.
No private sale.
I wasn't in the Series A or any of that stuff.
It's one to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, be cool if I was though. Yeah. Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
Come on, man, bring me in with like your brother and all these other your parents and stuff. That little Stanford click that you got going on. All right, Apple Inc. finds a way to escape from the Matrix and from fake crypto wallet hosting lawsuit here. The world's largest tech company by market cap managed to get rid of its proposed class action lawsuit. There we go. We got like froze there for a second. For allegedly hosting a spoofed crypto wallet, Toast Plus. As per the latest report by Bloomberg Law on the ruling, Apple succeeded in appearing itself immune and made the judge agree that the company shields itself over third-party claims under a certain act, the 230 Act, because as per the act, Apple is a publisher of the content provided by another creator and is not the creator itself. So it's saying, hey, we just we published the book. We didn't make the book. The court further declared that the claims are to be dismissed because the company highlights under its terms and conditions that the firm does not take responsibility for the exploits and damages that occur via a third-party counter. So we got them, basically saying we don't have to get lost. We don't have to get sued if you lose your money using apps in our crypto or in our app store. I mean, in a weird way, it's bad for the consumer, but in a long-term macro sense, it's kind of bullish because now you're gonna have more companies incentivized to build a crypto product on their app store. Because if you're able to get sued, who's not going to make a wallet? Samsung is going to take a double look. Apple's going to take a look at it. You're going to have all these. Maybe not. Apple's not a good example because they own the store, but you want big companies to get in the space.
Yeah.
And if they see that it's a litigious minefield, they're going to stay away. So, would I ever use a Microsoft crypto wallet? No. Is that bullish for the industry? Heck yes. So I think it's a net gain. It's not something I would use. I'm not interested in it. But from a macro sense, it's hugely bullish. And I think this court case leads to more actions like that. Again, I'm saying it's bad for the consumer in the short term, but I think in the long term, this is good. Thoughts? I mean, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here because, it does suck that.
If it was applied universally across the board, I think you could make that argument. Where I have a strong issue with Section 230 generally is they apply it on a double standard. They use it to keep them from getting sued, but they don't take any responsibility. So,
yeah,
that's what calls into question this Tornado Cash stuff, because you apply it to Tornado Cash and he didn't do anything wrong by that same law. He just created it. The way people use it, it wasn't his choice. It's, he's the publisher, he's the platform, not the publisher, and that's what they use to get away and have avoided lawsuits for a long time. So you're right. If that wasn't in place, social media platforms or all, digital platforms wouldn't have been able to get to the place that they are today. That being said, you've got to be fair and honest about the way you apply it. You can't just give some people blanket immunity like Google and Facebook and Amazon, and everybody else is held to a different standard. And that's what we generally see with this. So that's the issue.
Wappy, don't lie. You'll use it when it comes to #1 wallet. Bill Gates wallet? No. Okay. Maybe if it comes with a gallon of free cockroach milk per month, sure, maybe I'll use it then. I heard it's good for gains.
It'll help you get pregnant.
It'll shrink my taint, actually. I don't know if you saw that stuff. That's a thing that's happening.
Oh, boy.
Anyways. All right. XRP flips Cardano again. I'm sorry I took us there, TJ. Don't get mad at me.
It's all right. You take it one step further, and, I don't hate it,
You started it. That's a good excuse.
Yeah.
All right. XRP flips Cardano again, claiming 7th spot. Man, these two coins just like to dance, don't they?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, not too much meat on the bones here, but we've talked about it. You see the XRP, Cardano, at a time, Terra and Solana, they all like hanging around that same spot. If we go to crypto market cap, we can see it here, that 7-8 spot. Wow, pretty close. Yeah, 16.6 billion to 16.2. So those things are neck and neck. They're going to fight no matter what you tell them.
What I will say, a little update on XRP. We are working on a new video regarding XRP and their ties to the World Economic Forum, their ties to a lot of these central banks and payment processors that have already been baked into legal documents saying that they're going to be using Ripple, not necessarily XRP, but I know the new RippleNet does use a lot more XRP. So it's going to be, that's all part of this regulation stuff too. They're all in the middle of battling and kind of jockeying for position on the global scale, and every payment processor's kind of like that story we read earlier, like, hey, this new stuff's coming, but when it does, how do we make sure we still get our piece? Like, we'll let you do it, but you gotta pay the piper, and they're all in the middle of that right now. So
all right, yeah, and speaking of Ripple, just a quick hit here, 2 quick hits. Ripple's major partner in Latin America launches crypto remittances between Mexico and Canada. There's a lot more Mexicans in Canada, you would think, because Canada has easier immigration process than the U.S. We do need more immigrants. You want cheap Uber Eats? We need more legal immigrants. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm putting myself out there. And Sony Music files for a trademark application for NFT authenticated music. So it's the bear market, and we got Sony putting in some serious work here. They're building. So bullish news there. So are we expecting anything now from this? No. Does anyone really even know what Web3 and record companies look like? No, not really. Snoop, quote unquote, Death Row Records is the #1 Web3 record label. I looked, you know what? He released a mixtape. How would I listen to it? On datpiff.com, world premiere exclusive on Web2. So,
and I would say this, a lot of what is Web3 hype right now, like the guts and pipes, you would say, of Web3 are still being created. So a lot of the consumer-facing Web3 products are really much more of a hybrid of Web2 and Web3, or bridging Web2 to Web3. And it's going to be like that for a little while, but that's what increases the pipes and the throughput of what the new internet is going to look like. So let's do a couple questions.
Let's do it.
One from earlier in the show from David, a super chat, asking, DZ, any low supply coins that you're looking at?
I was thinking about that. And to me, it's not so much the supply of the coins as important as the market cap. And I'm hesitant to say I have any like low cap. All my favorite low cap gems from last bull market, they kind of disappointed me. I pulled some profits on some. Other ones I wrote down way too long. But I will say a low cap that used to be a huge cap that might have a little resurgence. I think Wax, that's a large enough cap I feel comfortable talking about. I think Wax could have another leg up. Why? It fits really good in the ESG narrative. It's very low carbon imprint. So I think Wax could do pretty well. But, I mentioned at the top of the show, FTT is something I'm interested in. Near Protocol. And what's the one, this SUI, the one we were talking about? I'm keeping an eye out on that one for sure. And I'm looking at some of the lower market cap here. I want to keep it top 50. I don't want to go super low. Filecoin is something I'm kind of interested in. I always love me some ApeCoin. It's already 33. So, for instance,
Quant's
Aave.
not bad down there. QNT.
Yeah, another good one there. Zcash, very disappointed. KuCoin, KCS. I never sold my KCS. I had it staked on KuCoin. It's not worth a dang thing, but I like KuCoin.
All right, David Ferrani, if the ETH merge creates proof of work tokens and I quote unquote own ETH on Robinhood, will they support / give out the tokens? If not, where do the tokens
You
go?
won't own them. Now, will they quote unquote support and give out something? You know what? If it ends up being worth like for every $1 worth of ETH you have on there and it ends up being worth a penny, 2 cents, 3 cents, Robinhood executives might look at each other and say, you know what? Is there some mechanism where we can have like a feel good story and it doesn't really cost as much? I could see them doing that, but it's not your keys, so it's not your crypto, so don't expect anything.
Yeah, and technically where the coins would go, Robinhood gets them. And
Yeah,
I
Robinhood
would
gets
imagine,
them.
like you hear us talking a lot about who will support this proof of work fork. I don't remember hearing Robinhood is in that discussion. So that's why we're talking about it becoming worthless very quickly. So if exchanges don't support it, if node providers and software providers and wallet providers and all these other people don't support it, then it'll just be dead coins, basically. Like if you have them in your actual wallet, you'll get them, you can find them, you could search for them. But on Robinhood would get them, and it's up to them to do what they want with them.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows what Vlad will do? I think it'd be a easy slam dunk PR move to give it out. So that'd be my choice if I was on the board. I don't know what they're gonna do though. It is their coins. All right.
And yeah, I think that's all the questions we have right now.
All right, cool. And so someone reaching out to Bosscat. I don't know if you're talking about their Twitter there, and was there one right below that was just like a feel good? Oh yeah, I've never. Be very careful about coins from Dubai money. I've seen pump and dumps. That's all I'm saying. I've seen pump and dumps.
Well, it's also careful on BCS in general.
yeah.
It's just true. I'm not saying there's anything bad with it. You just got to be careful. There's more likely to be ruggish kind of stuff over there than other places.
Yeah. I mean, you get away with everything under the sun over there if you know the right people. Just like Romania or something like that. So just be careful. Just be careful. Self-custody, not your keys, not your crypto. Like Meg said, great ending advice. That's all we got. You catch me at 5 p.m. Make sure you check out MetaMoney. Make sure you check out NFT Alpha. Make sure you check out Frankie Candles. Hit Network Gaming. Great channel. You want to check that out as well. All right. Until next time, BitSquad. Easy out. I'm going to go check on some merch. Probably nothing.